because where we are located, we're in the great city of Dallas, right close to DFW Airport, and um, the weather is delightful here. So we have one of our favorite people on board. It's Bishop Joe today, and hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings to you. If you've been missing him, it's because they come on. Someone asked me for the schedule. They're on the Esther Davis show twice a month, unless we get a convention or something that's happening, and then we'll make arrangements. So the best thing to do is just stay with us the entire month, and we'll keep you updated on the bishops. They are extremely fascinating to listen to. How are you doing?
I'm good. God
You're
is
good.
good. The
God
day
is
is
good.
good. And the spring is good.
Oh yeah, the spring is lovely.
Yeah.
I've got flowers in my yard already. I got flowers and weeds, by the
And the
way.
butterflies are coming around and the birds.
And yes, we're enjoying the springtime, along with the other things that we expect. We know there's going to be a little bit of rain, but we also need the rain, so don't worry about that part. I want to ask about your colleagues. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is doing fine. You know, Archbishop Emmanuel is always in the air, flying.
he's always looking over us, right?
He's just assisting God.
That's a great way of putting that. He's assisting God. Well, I'm always mesmerized by getting on a plane anyway. The fact that God would make a machine that weighs a couple of tons that flies.
Yeah, I think Prophet Isaiah spoke about it. The iron that was flying in the air and the one that was floating on the water. So there's nothing new under the sun.
No.
You know?
No, it's not new. It's always a miracle to see them take off and land.
Comfortably.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yes. So if you're traveling this spring break, if you're getting ready to travel, just think about the goodness of our Creator in putting a plane up in the air. And now we're so comfortable with it that they'll fly for 22 hours nonstop.
Yeah. Like if you're going to the Far East or the Southeast Asia,
Yes.
you really have a long stretch.
Yeah.
And you feel cool. It's as if you're sitting in one place.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can get up and move around. And then for the shorter term trips, they have the helicopters now that will just land right here if they want to. It's just a miracle that we see every day in our world.
That's a part of the creative connection between God and man. Because when God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, that they will have dominion over all our creation. That's total domination. Mentally, spiritually, morally, and otherwise. That's why man is the one that sets the tone, even among the animals. A man can tame them, the lion, the cougar, the panda, the anaconda, anything, name it. And they will walk comfortably with man, because that is the God nature in man. Forget every word philosophers or whatever they want to coin it with. It is simply God in man, because he said when God molded man from the dust of the earth in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7,
Genesis chapter 2.
Verse
We
7.
are on top of, we have an intern in the studio with us today. They're out of school and they're asking a lot of questions. So I thought I'd bring somebody so the bishop could see. And has she given you some of her questions already?
She said she gave it to you.
Oh, she gave it to me already. Okay, so let me see.
So
that would be TikTok
no problem.
and the upcoming, what is that thing that's going to cover the moon? And everybody says 8 days we're going to be in the dark. They have all of these answers for the what is it called? The eclipse.
Eclipse, yeah.
We're
The
selling,
one they say sometime like in April, right?
it's
Is
coming
it
up.
in April, so they said.
She's going to look it up for us. She's a beautiful child. She's been in this business a long time because her parents are in it. But in any event, for all of our students that are home or enjoying spring break, we want you to have a great time on spring break, but learn as much as you possibly can. And I'm fascinated and really honored with the fact that they would watch my show when I'm talking to the bishop, the man in the white. That's what they are talking about. But those are two of the questions that we talked about. And she has some very interesting comments. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about what our young people are accustomed to. And she's right. On the way out here, she talked to me about TikTok. She's 17 years old, and she doesn't use it anymore. She said it was too consuming. It took too much of her time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she explains to me how the feed works. So once you go into a 30-second reel, you got to make sure I'm saying this right. Okay, all right. Once you go into a 30-second, it continues and gives you another one. So it's a relationship that they build with the person on the phone.
Yep, that's true.
And it holds your attention.
That's true. She's very right. But, you know, it depends on what you look for.
Okay.
Because TikTok can give you any information depending on your orientation, your mindset, and what you seek. Because the law of attraction applies in everything.
The law of attraction, yeah.
What you desire, you attract. So if you're looking for spiritual information, concise mysteries of life, TikTok will give it to you. If you're looking for junk, TikTok is there to feed you junk.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah, but the key thing, the most important thing is management. Not only do you manage human beings, you manage yourself. You're given 24 hours in a day. Those 24 hours are for you to make use of. The only thing they advise you medically is take 28 out of the 24 hours and try to rest your body, sleep. The other 16 hours, or 17 as the case may be, it's up to you how you manage them. If you like, spend the whole time on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, and so on. The time will fly. The clock is there, moving steady. It does not change a bit. The rhythm does not slow down. It doesn't go fast. It's steady. But what you schedule into it in between, how you manage time, you manage your life, you manage your health, you manage your environment, you manage your thought, you manage your spirit. Everything is management. It's not just about office or business. So when you manage it effectively, you get the best out of life. That
You
is
get
why
the best.
that's why God called man a co-creator.
A co-creator.
Yeah, and that's why when he made man, he said he breathed into the man's nostrils the breath of life, meaning that God took over the consciousness of man to make him his dwelling place. So if you walk in partnership with God in you, beautiful. If you walk against him, he said, I stand at the door and knock. He said, I didn't say I'm going to bulldoze myself into your life. No. He said, I stand at the door and knock. If you open, I will come in.
And
If you refuse to open,
Yes,
beautiful.
amen.
Say, man, when you're ready, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
The bishop is generous to us today, answering some questions from the younger generation. And our intern is in the office today is, are you 16? 15? 16. So we had this tantalizing conversation about why she got off of TikTok. And that's what we're talking about. Listen to your children. That's number one. And if they have these questions, she did mention something to me that I had not thought about. She says these reels or this information is about 30 seconds, and then it goes directly to another one. But it's something that she understands because she asked for it before. So now that's in my head is relationships, building what you're interested in and giving it to you incessively.
Yeah. But, you know, if you look at, there's one thing people should understand about the screen. The people that coined the word television, you know why?
Why?
Tell a vision.
Tell a vision.
Television.
Okay, explain that to me.
You're telling a story. You occupy the mind, the ear, the consciousness, the brain,
Okay.
because if you're focused on TikTok, you're seeing the image in the reels. So it is total possession of your entire being. So if you allow it to suck you in like a pipe, you remain a prisoner.
You remain a prisoner.
Yes, that is where the willpower comes in. And what is that
So
willpower?
she's grinning right now because that's exactly what that's exactly. Is that what you were telling us on the way out? We've been riding together today. We're talking about young people and what they think about this world we have allowed them to grow up in. So that's really the
Yeah.
issue.
He said, as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
You know, the world today, some decades ago, there was no television much, no internet, no GSM, no Android, no
Right.
no iPhone, none of those things, no TikTok. But people were forced to use the mind. The brain was more functional. Right now, technology has taken over the brain. So now giving man either the the space to either make use of the brain effectively or let the brain control you.
And
You
let it
also-
rot. The brain will literally, if you don't use
of
it,
course. And
Bishop.
that's why they feed themselves. It's like a dope addict. You're used to opium, you take the first wrap, you lick it, you have the cool, you sell in the cloud, feel on top of the world. You come back, you want another high. If you had been taking a quarter of a gram to get the first high, you add a little bit more. Before you know what is happening now, the veins, the nerves, all your body is controlled by the substance.
controlled by it.
That's when you
Yeah.
become the addict. You know?
Wow.
Yes. So if you can now, to break it up, they have what they call cold turkey. That's cold turkey. They say they
We'll
have.
turn it all off.
Yeah. Switch everything off. Your heart is cold. Your body is cold. You feel as if you're going to die in the next 5 seconds.
And we're not talking about cocaine. We're not talking about a drug. We're actually talking about social
No,
media.
No, everything is connected. It's addiction.
Yes. Yeah.
It's addiction.
That's exactly what she said.
Addiction is not only about substances. Somebody can be addicted to anything and it will rule your head, it can destroy you. You understand?
Did you hear that?
But so addiction is when you lose control of yourself, when you refuse to manage yourself. You need to manage yourself. This body is given to you to manage. That's why when you get up in the morning, you know you need to clean your mouth so that it doesn't smell. You get a toothpaste or whatever with brush, clean up the mouth, clean the tongue.
Right.
You know you need to put water in the system so that it doesn't dry up. You drink water to stop dehydration. You know you need to put food in the tummy so that it will process and give you the necessary things you need to grow as a good human being. You find the food, and the food, again, you decide what you put as a food. Whether you're going to put in junk, right? Or you're going to eat healthy. So you make a choice. Either you eat food as your medicine by getting everything you need from the food to have a wholesome, holistic life, or you eat medicine as your food, which is another derivation from the same substance with the consequences of the side effects of the toxins and the chemicals you ingest. So everything is relative. You choose to keep your environment clean, the bugs will stay out of your environment. You keep it dirty, the bugs will come in, because everything has something to. There's no vacuum in life. If a place is filthy, the flies will come in, the roaches will come in, the worms and the maggots will come in, because that is their own natural environment.
Right.
But
Right.
if the place is spotless and sparkling, they go to their environment. There's enough space in the world for them to stay. Nature abhors vacuum, so it's what you bring in.
Nature, what did you say?
Abhors.
Nature.
Nature
yes.
hates vacuum. There's no vacuum in nature. Now,
No, you have to think about that, but you're absolutely right. There's no vacuum in nature.
at all.
It's going somewhere.
Something must be there.
Yes.
Here we have a light, now it's bright. Turn off the light, darkness sets in. Something must occupy the space.
Something must occupy the space.
Yes.
He's Bishop Joe. He's on the Esther Davis show. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to make sure that we're answering all of our guests' questions today. And these kids, our young people, are out of school, so I take this time to pick their brain, and they will give you the information if you allow them to do so. So, Chance, let's do a 30-second break and see if Al is comfortable with us. this time, mainly because spring break is up on us. And we're listening to our young people. So what we're doing today, I mentioned earlier that Bishop Joe's been so gracious to answer the questions. We have some shy teenagers. Believe it or not, some of them are very shy. But she did give me all of the information. So he's answering her questions, expounding on our world from the views of a 16-year-old. So she said I was doing a great job of relaying her messages. This is so much fun. But out of that explanation she just gave you during the break, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, freedom. They call it freedom, eh?
Yeah.
But freedom is a burden.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yet. How do you relay that to a teenagers, a college
Yeah,
kids?
you know why I call it
Freedom
a burden?
is
It's a burden, huge burden. And in the world today, particularly the, how do I call them, influencers of a society, whether they are movie stars, music stars, social, whatever they are that lead the pack. The misfortune we have is we have a generational problem. Pediatric science stipulates there are certain stages of mental growth for a child. From the ages of 1 to 6 is the first stage. That is when the child grows through sensations and observations. And if you go to kindergarten school, they teach them through songs and rhymes.
Yeah, they do.
From 6 to 12, they start teaching them in figures and objects they can relate and interpret in every field of life. From 12 to 16, that's the most delicate age of a child's life. The hormones, the enzymes, everything is at war. That's even when you see even...
They call that the impressive...
Yes, they even question their identity completely.
So that's what our interns are talking about.
Yes, they have to redefine themselves. And in redefining themselves now with the barrage of information that is flooding the social media space.
I hope you're paying strict attention to this, and you have to share this show. Because the bishop now is telling us that children have certain places they're supposed to be at certain age.
And certain exposures they are supposed to have. That's why in all the productions, they have what they call parental control. I came across an information the other day. I was shocked that Bill Gates said none of his children uses any type of whether Android or Apple phone until they are 14.
And these are his own children. He's at his house.
His own children in his own house. And he's the one that is producing it and making billions out of it. Then if he will be smart enough to keep his children because he knows the influence. And the unfortunate thing is said in Galatians chapter 5 verse 17 that the flesh fights against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh. Say these two are contrary one to the other. And unfortunately, in our social and family space, the negative influence of the flesh is more pervasive than the positive. And it's easy.
We're going to follow the negative every time.
It's very easy. It's easy to hear daddy takes a tot of brandy when he comes home. The child will want to know what's in that bottle. How does it taste? Yeah. Daddy puffs a cigar. He wants to puff a cigar. Yeah. When they tell the young lady, dress like this because society demands it, makes you decent. And she looks on the stage, maybe on the YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and saw his or her idols. You see how they call them idols? Images that have presented themselves as worshipful majesties. Her idols strutting naked on the stage.
Yeah, they do. I never thought about that, but they do. They don't call them kids or teenagers or... No. They said it's an adult. No, and an adult is 16 years old.
No, it is actually from 18. And why do they call it 18? At least you've gone through some life's experiences. Okay. You have some level of reasoning and understanding. But when they pump all this information in the media space for the underage, they're grappling with their own growth process, the mental growth, the physical growth, the physiological changes in their system, the hormonal transformation and so on and so forth, then compounding it with all those enticing things that look as if it's heaven, whereas it's confusion packaged in a reel. So if they now, that's why they advise parental control. Monitor, put a limit to what your child can go into.
Right.
Not if most of the parents give their children phone, but they don't put the key in from a key control. That key control is to enable them communicate with their children, know wherever they are. Enable them have access to certain information that
That's
will aid
right.
their growth. Because the information in the internet is both positive and negative. And that is why God gave, after his law concerning, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other God before me, thou shalt not make any graven image of anything in Exodus chapter 20. After the whole thing, the next thing he brought in was said, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long. Then he said it again, bring up your child the way he should go.
The way he should go.
And when he grows up, he will not depart from it. He went further again, said, do not spare the rod and spoil the child. It's not the cane. It's not the whip, the rod.
Oh, it's not, it's the
It's
tongue.
the tongue. You speak word of peace, speak word of wisdom. Guide your child in love. Lead your child. Tell your daughter, my dear, I don't want you to watch this, not because you cannot watch them, but for ABC reasons. When you give that reason why he or she shouldn't go into that place, then they will have a reference. When the consequence of what you told them not to go to that space happens, they'll oh, but my mommy told me I should have listened.
Yes.
You've got the child that time.
The bishop is getting down home and personal this week because we have a young intern in who just gave me a lot of information. And I think we're going to do this again. So next time I'm going to ask you to bring your friends. Maybe feel better with one or two of your friends, one or two of your friends here with us, because what the bishop is now saying, I mean, I had forgotten about Bill Gates not allowing his children to be social media.
Mm-hmm.
How many parents are actually doing that? And this comes from the man who designed the system. But it's overwhelming to think that you're absolutely right. We have 12-year-olds that talk like adults.
The irony of it, sorry to interrupt you, even in the church space.
The church space.
While the minister is giving the word of God, you see the little children.
On the phone.
They're busy with their phone, browsing, chatting.
Yeah.
They're not even paying attention because the parents think they're indulging their child. Oh, iPhone 15 is in the market. My
So I've
child
gotta
needs to go
have
to
an
school with
iPhone
it.
15.
Yeah. So that when they see my child, they see that my child is well taken care of. The parents love him or her. But you don't know that there are softwares in that iPhone 15 that you, an adult, will never know. But ask them. When you see them like this, they are moving. They are going to spaces you don't know existed. And there are so many informations in that place that if you see, it will blow your mind.
No, the parents don't have a clue because the parents don't know how to use the phone.
I know.
That's and I'm guilty of that. I have grandchildren, so if I get stuck or something, I know who I should call to get unstuck. Mm-hmm. But their brain, that's the portion that sticks in my mind the most, is that their brain are getting all of this advanced information.
But it's not strange. You know why I say it's not strange?
Yes, I noticed that.
This is their world.
Okay.
Let's look at the mystery of conception, birth.
The mystery. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Leader Olumba Obu told us that abortion is murder. You know why he said abortion is murder?
Murder, yes.
Once there's conception, life is given. And I came across a document recently that they did a laboratory experiment on when the egg cell of the man, the sperm cell of the man and the egg cell of the woman fuses to form life. Mm-hmm. They were shocked to see there was an explosion of light. And what is that light? Light is God. So with that explosion of light, meaning that a spiritual energy has entered, then what does the mother do? A mother may not like any crustacean as a menu, like all the lobster, shrimps, but once she has a child, she's pregnant, she might be craving for that, even to eating of mud. Eating anything imaginable. You know the reason why it is so?
Why?
The womb of the woman is the fabrication chamber. The mother does not...
You lose me sometimes. He does. He absolutely loses. Would you say that again, please?
The womb of the woman...
The womb of the woman...
is the fabrication chamber.
Okay.
Once that spirit fuses, life is formed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what the woman supplies is raw materials for the build-up of the body of a child. So if it is a child that came from the avian environment, she'll be craving for avian food. Those are the raw materials. So there's nothing like premature birth or late delivery. All that remains is that the builder is waiting for the raw materials to complete the house. Once the house is completed, that spirit wants to come into the world. Labor pain sets in. With that labor pain, you bring in the child. So we are in the age, everything is spiritual and physical. We're of dual nature. The spiritual energy on the earth, which God has released on the earth plane, that's leading to all these exponential inventions. The child is absorbing it, even both in the food, the atmosphere, what the mother watches, what everything happening around. So they come fully equipped with all the knowledge. I had a 2-year-old boy. The mom told me, was looking for information. The mom, he said, "Mommy, Google it now."
He's 2 years old.
2 years. How does a 2-year-old know what is called Googling?
He can't spell it yet. Yeah. Can he spell it also?
I don't know, but he Googled, he took the phone and Googled. Even the mom told me that when the boy wants to watch a movie or listen to music, he goes to YouTube, searches out what he wants. That is to tell, in this age, there are so many things that is happening people cannot understand. Why do somebody get up say, "I'm not like this"? Some even have unusual intelligence because all those energies and spirits and forces are physically on earth.
And while you're saying that, I'm thinking we don't even have time to rest because every day there's a new app. Every day there's a new piece of information that is just updates to what you currently have.
Yes.
So are we going to be able to keep up with this shift?
Well, we have close to 8 billion humanity.
8 billion what?
People on earth.
Yes.
So
8 billion. Okay.
Close to 8,
we're up another billion.
Yeah.
We're up another.
So now with that population, every information is not for everyone.
Sure.
Everyone will make use of according to, there are different personalities and different gifts. That's why it said in the scriptures in Ephesians chapter 4, from verse 4 to 6, it said, we have one spirit that manifests in diverse forms.
It manifests.
So the manifestation will depend on your own, which one is your own area. Take automobile manufacturing. Somebody handles engine, another one is in charge of electricals, the other one is in charge of the body work, the other one is in charge of painting, fitting, everything, the tire. By the time all of them finish the whole work,
Get a
car is presented. Not one person, even in the human body, look at the medical science. Just ear, nose, and throat is what somebody spent all his or her life studying. The head, the one is studying the dentistry. Another one is studying the brain. Another one is studying the hair. Each one, the whole body, have different fields of endeavors. Somebody who is an oncologist may not know anything about orthopedics.
And they'll tell you that.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the sciences or about the neck or... That's very true.
But it's the one human body. All of them are studying. So the whole thing is simple. For the child of today, the most important thing is this. The greatest admonition ever given to man, he said, "Man, know thyself." For the youth of today, remember your mother and your father may not be that opportune to have the exposure you did, you're having. So you don't expect them to know more than they can know. But then if you're searching, if you want to go and look for some information because your friends are looking for it, or if your friends are living on that lane, or your friends are trending on that platform, remember, what is good for the goose may not be good for the gander.
May not be good. That's right. What's good for the goose is not. We're talking to Bishop Joe about questions that are coming from our young people. This is a very good move that we made because we haven't had one even in the studio.
And it's great to have her today.
It's great to have her, even though she won't come on the air. But that's okay. We got the information, and she's correcting us, and if we don't have it right, or correcting me, and the bishop is giving us food to grow on, food to stay with. Now, this eclipse. The eclipse says that the world is going to go dark for 8 days. The lady just told me this on the phone. And then make sure you have enough water in the house, because I remember 1999.
They said there'll be 3 days
darkness. That's 3 days of darkness. It's the same thing. And people started building homes up in the mountains because we weren't going to have any lights. And it was just a run to the end of the world. The machines were going to stop working. we're talking about 1999. There was a name for it
Yeah.
at that time. And
They call it the millennium bug.
yes, it was the end of that millennium, and the scientists and people got all hyped up about what is going to happen when the clock, the digital clock, gets to 1999 going into the year 2000.
0000 hours.
That's right. And we were
on the
supposed
31st
to,
of December.
yes, and we were supposed to, the highways were not going to work. I mean, it got just atrociously dangerous. It was a big hype. And you know what? Absolutely nothing happened. The clocks didn't stop. The trains didn't stop. The airplanes continued to roam the
Fly.
skies. Nothing happened. We've got to be, can we just not believe everything that comes along? The eclipse, the last time it was here, look, Allie, look up for me the last time the eclipse, and it's been about 10 or 20 years. And if you're going to Fair Park or to all the places, and if you're buying the glasses, that, I think that is important, because I've been around a few years. But the rest of it is hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype, because it is not true. Scientists, we do have scientists. We have some very bright scientists. What do you have for me? Okay, 2017.
August 21, 2017.
All right, that's been a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 7 years.
And he said it covered a rural area with only 12 million people in the path of totality.
Only 12 million people.
Yeah. But let me tell you something,
We're waiting for this.
When they say eclipse and that people will get light, we only think, I don't know why the mind of man is so dense and low. Maybe because all we anchor our understanding, even in blessing, if you go to church now, you tell somebody, give testimony of what God has done for you. Oh, I thank God I was earning $10 an hour. Suddenly they make it $30 an hour. I was living in so and zip code, and then I moved up to that zip code. All mundane material things that have no meaning.
All the material things.
Yeah,
That's
some things
exactly
you
right.
cannot hold on to.
Okay.
As it is here today, like the wind, gone tomorrow. When he's talking of having light, if we're imagining such a situation, what the light will seek for most is the light of God. Now, let us use it, assuming that eclipse will come, and let's assume it's going to be in the last day, because a lot of people cannot stay from 6 to 9 in the morning without eating up a storm. Even the nutritionists tell you, eat like a king in the morning, eat like a prince in the afternoon, eat like a pauper in the night. And you have to stay 8 whole days without food, or what, you know what it
Yes,
means?
yeah.
That means it's letting you to know, okay, let us take it to be the end of the time Armageddon situation. Assuming they say, okay, that's when judgment is going to take place, or that's when Jesus Christ is going to come to judge the world. Is he coming to judge you according to your candle?
No.
If the sun cannot give the light, how do you expect your candle or your matchstick will strike? Where would the heat energy come from? It's supposed to be a moment of sober reflection. Now let us take the time now to look at our lives. How have we made use of faith? How much have we gone? I was discussing with her earlier that when people are talking of religion, Christians gather, oh, I'm a Christian. The Bible is my book. The Bible is not a Christian book. Bible
You told us this before. I remember.
Yes,
I
yes.
remember.
It's not a Christian book. Jesus Christ did not set up any religion. If you follow his analysis, or when he gave his terms of reference, why God brought him on earth, John 3:16 and 17, it was very specific. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him would not perish but have everlasting life. And that God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And how are they saved through him? Our Lord Jesus Christ came, he did 3 unique things. He showed us as a man, you can be weak. It's normal. You're not strong 24 hours. Number 2, he demonstrated love. He thought about love. He brought the whole laws of Moses together. John 12, verse 15, verse 12. He said, this is my new commandment, that ye love one another, even as I, using himself as a benchmark, as I have loved you. And in the same John chapter 13, verses 34 and 35, he reiterated it. He said, this is my new commandment, that ye love one another even as I have loved. He said, by this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another. That is the number 2 mission he did. First, he showed us the weakness of man, and that it cannot be overcome through his temptation in the wilderness and the 40 days and 40 nights fasting, according to Matthew chapter 4.
Okay.
Then finally, the third and the most important thing he did for man, what? He demonstrated that love practically.
He's demonstrated that love practically.
practically.
What do you mean?
Yes, at the expense, remember, at the crucifixion. Under the law, it has no reason. When a judge, imagine you have a case, you appear before a circuit judge, a Supreme Court judge, right?
Yes.
The prosecutor is saying, he stole the book, he broke the bank, he killed the man, he did everything. But the presiding judge say, hey, I have power to release you or to condemn you. Tell me, I don't believe you did this. Can you defend yourself? That's the drama between Jesus Christ and Pilate in Matthew chapter 26. That I have been told you have no power at all against me, unless it is given to you from above. He made up his mind to do it, and what is to do? To teach us that love is not about self, it is about others. That is why he did not set up a religion. Every religion, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shintoism, Sikhism, Jainism, Islam, all of them, even Judaism, spoke about love. And what is that love? It's not the one, I love my girlfriend. That's no big deal, because you're ready to kill another man because of that, your girlfriend. You know?
The bishop has a candid way of getting your attention. And this was one of those examples that something we can all relate to. And that's why you're going to the Bible. I have to bring that up, because when he cites these messages in the books of the Bible and tell you to go to here, you can see in your Bible.
Yes, anyone you're using.
Yeah,
Bible is Bible.
And you have the relationship. Somebody can now say, well, I understand that passage.
And that is true.
That's true.
And you know the key thing, when we understand that love which Christ demonstrated, and the most critical of all was what he said at last, after everything was done to him, instead of getting angry, he said, Father, please forgive them because they are ignorant. He saw that man is ignorant, because why do we hate? Any man that hates is an ignorant person. I will not call him a fool, God forbid. He's ignorant, because it's ignorance that makes people do unusual things. Why should somebody go and destroy himself?
Yes.
Why should somebody go and take drugs? Why should you drink and drive? Why should you hate your mother? You understand? Because if you had been aware, conscious, because that first statement says, man, know thyself, and you will know all things.
They don't know themselves.
Yes.
Even with the fighting, we have graduated from fighting to shooting.
And what is the whole objective? Before I came out, I was watching something. They were describing one aircraft that is a superb destroyer. But the irony of it is, the general that gave order for the aircraft to go to another man's land to destroy, if the same aircraft is coming to his own home, he will run to an underground bunker and be calling for every emergency service to save him.
Exactly.
That is the ignorance, because if we realize that we are all together, we're
better.
And we're better together. We're all we need.
We are all we need.
Yes. Remember, I think one day we discussed about the soup pot philosophy. You want to cook a good soup, you go to a Chinese shop, you buy mushroom. You go to an Indian shop, you buy one item. You go to a Mexican shop, you buy another. You go to an African shop, you buy this. And then when you gather all of them together, then you gather some from your American soil. That Chinese mushroom maybe was planted on the grave of a Chinese man. The other product from India was harvested where an Indian, because there's no place human beings have not been buried over the years, right?
That's a great point. There's no place that you're right. So everything is come from the earth.
Yes.
Somebody's buried there.
And our body came from the earth too. Now, when you gather all of them on your kitchen table, you assemble them, put them together, season them fine. and you sit down and you're enjoying it. Oh man, this soup is delicious. This gravy is wonderful. You're eating the blood of an Indian, Chinese, African, American, Mexican, Australian. Then
Amen,
when you get
amen,
up again
amen.
and hate or kill anybody from any of those parts, you're killing yourself. That is what Christ said. Love one another. And he demonstrated it that when they tormented him, did all that thing to him, say, Father, forgive them because of their ignorance. That is why Christ did not bring a religion called Christianity. He brought us a way of life.
A way of life that we're supposed to live on a
Yes.
daily basis. That's the most important message. And this is going into Easter. It's going into the Holy Week. It's going into actual death of our Master and our Creator. So great time for the speech. But everything the bishop has said today is just amazing me. I was telling this group of young people, I said, this bishop speaks a lot of languages. Anything I bring up, he's got an answer for it. I mean, and it changes your view. It changes life. You know that. People that are watching us, absolutely. I hear about it all the time. I'm not going to start calling names because then I'll make a big mistake. That's not a good idea. But the fact that you're getting a new way to live during this Holy Week season, during this Easter, and all of the months that we have been given, it is paramount that you invite somebody to listen to the bishops. And when we get all of them here, I'll go back and listen to the rest of some of the older shows. I always say this, this is my favorite show, but the one, and it is, for about 2 weeks until they come back. But now we're reaching the young people.
And
that's the important.
And that is the most important because we
yes.
have, there are 3 tripods of life, eh?
Oh, yes.
The pre-18. That is
Pre-18.
Pre-18, that's the young generation. And that is the future and the fertile ground where we have to plant the seed of love
Yes,
and
indeed,
righteousness.
indeed.
Then we have the generation of 19 to 55.
Oh, that's a big space there.
The United Nations say youth is 18 to whatever, 35. No, it's 18 to 55. You know why I extended it to 55?
Why?
That is the most productive age. Those are the people that rule the world. Those are the people that manufacture the world. Those are the people that structure the world. Those are the people that change the trends, whether it is in science,
They're doing it
technology,
this time. Yes.
politics,
Yeah.
name it. It's that generation. And then what do they reflect in their generation? If there's love in the heart, an African, Asian, European, American, Australian, all of them can work together on a round table with one focus in mind. That focus is to grow the structure and make it become, because when it grows, it benefits everybody. Let me give you an example. A white brother that say he doesn't like a black skin, and you grow your lettuce. When he gets to the market, to Kroger, to Walmart, to Whole Foods, all these people will buy from it and eat. So your hate is meaningless. A black brother that he hates his white brother or the other colors. When you grow your whatever you grow, it comes to the market. You don't put instruction who's going to buy it. Everybody feeds from your sweat. So we are better together. Now that is love. We are all we need, whether we like it or not. This is not a case of, the Holy Father gave an illustration that a man got angry with the society.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to live with people again. He went into the wilderness to build a house alone. Within a month, he saw somebody digging a foundation beside his house.
Oh.
Within a year, he has another community developed there. You can never be alone. No matter how you try, no matter how you do it, we must come together. And everything that sustains us, fossil fuel, what do they claim it to be? They say it is a residue of whatever, both human biomass, animal biomass, plant biomass, and all of them came to form the fossil fuel. We refine it. When you get to the gas station to put gas in your tank, do you ask the gas whether we are gotten from African soil or Asian soil? All you need is the gas to move
Are you
your
listening?
vehicle.
Are you listening to this man? No, we're not asking where the gas is from. As long as it comes out of the pump, that's all we care about.
That's all you need. Turn your ignition and the vehicle is moving.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Oh my! The shows are reaching and doing exactly what we want them to do. And that's because of you and your education, your studying, your travels. How many languages do you speak?
Well, I speak my own language. I speak some part of English. I speak some Hindi and some other in between. But you know one thing, Doc?
What?
Actually, all these things we are talking about is just simply telling humanity, acquire Christhood.
Yes.
Finish. Be the best you can. Acquire
In whatever.
Christhood. How was the Christhood? How did Christ attain Christhood? Jesus was a man who was willing to let the Spirit lead him. That was why when the disciples, he had encounter with the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, and they brought
John
back the
chapter
food he
4.
told them to buy. And when they come to him, they say, Master, come and eat. He said, but I have food already that I'm eating. They started looking at each other. Where did he get the food he's eating? How come he had food?
When
He
did
said,
he eat?
my meat is to do the will of him that sent me
My will.
and to perfect it.
Wow.
And what is that willing to perfecting it? Bring the world even 1 millionth of an inch closer. Bridge the gap a little. Let us come together and try to see beyond the veil of our imagination and see into the soul of humanity, that in the soul of humanity lies God. When we find God, we find Christ. When we find Christ, the earth will be a paradise. You don't need to die to go to heaven to meet God.
You will stay here and we'll have heaven here on
Comfortably.
earth.
We prayed it. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It can only be done when we allow Christ to possess us, not Christianity, not Buddhism, not religion. Man created religion.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anything created by man has some degrees of imperfection, you know? But with that one that's from God, love is pure. Christ is pure. It doesn't have anything. It's just simply Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. He said,
Matthew, we've had that scripture before.
so whatsoever you wish that anyone should do unto you, do that to others. That is the law, that is the prophets, that is Christ, that is Jesus, that is religion, that is everything.
And that is love.
That is love.
Going into this Holy Week, Bishop Joe has given us a path to follow. And for all of the young people out there that joined the intern that's here, then that's the message we want you to have, and keep it into your hearts. And you know what? Enjoy this holiday season. It's not a holiday. Do something positive for somebody. And you really are the greatest audience in the world. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate it.